Okay, I apologize for the delay. We are officially live and we're ready to get started again. My name is Judge Tamika West and I am presiding over the first appearance today. This is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We are not here to try your case or to take a plea. You are here for the court to inform you of the charges against you, advise you of certain rights, set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you choose up this right, anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you if this case goes to trial. During this and all other proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to indictment by the grand jury for most felonies or by accusations for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses who are called to testify against you. The right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena. The right to testify and offer evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so. But should you choose not to do so, no presumption of guilt may be raised. You also have the right to an attorney to represent you at this point. We will appoint an attorney to represent you if you are eligible. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bond for your release from jail pending prosecution of the case, which may be cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with applicable mandated fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will have to pay up to 15% of the total amount of your bond as their fee for their service. This fee will not be returned. Someone may post a bond using their property if they have net equity in the property in an amount equal to 3 times the total bond amount. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. These special conditions will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from calling or having any contact with the alleged victim in the case while you're in jail. Should you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influencing witnesses, or other charges as the law may provide could be brought against you, for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000. For family members who will assist you in posting bond, they will be provided with information of your bond amount after we have concluded the first appearance calendar today. If a family member is a victim on the warrant and there is a special condition that you are to have no contact with that family member, he or she will not be allowed to post bond. Again, if a family member is an alleged victim on the warrant and there's a special condition that you are to have no contact with that family member, he or she will not be allowed to post bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a superior court judge, and you will be informed of that court date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond. Again, if you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond. Your bond will be reconsidered after your probation officer has an opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation, usually during your preliminary hearing. The purpose of preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial. For those of you charged with misdemeanors only, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Waiving your hearing will not affect your rights to post bond, your right to have an attorney represent you, or your right to have an attorney appointed to represent you if you qualify for one, or your right to a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived and you will be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for your arraignment. If you cannot make bond, you may waive your preliminary hearing and be taken before a state court judge, at which time, if you plead guilty, you will be sentenced. If you plead not guilty, a trial will be scheduled. If you choose to have a misdemeanor preliminary hearing, the hearing will be scheduled for August 24, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. For those of you charged with felony offenses, you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for August 23rd, 2021. That will conclude my opening remarks. I will take the first individual deputies. Okay, if the first one was state their full name for the record and step to the camera. Please state your full name for the record.
Denisha Kane.
And that's C-A-I-N?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Kane. You have been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault. Based on the offense, this court is not authorized to set bond for you today. Do you understand the charge as well as the no bond?
Okay, I don't have a bond.
Because only a superior court judge can set bond on an offense for aggravated assault.
Okay.
So I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for August the 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. And then your bond hearing before the superior court judge will be August 27, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand those 2 hearing dates?
And she said the 23rd is the one for.
That's your preliminary hearing date to determine if it's sufficient evidence to continue to detain you. And then your bond hearing is scheduled for August 27th. So that will be determined if you be eligible for bond at that time by a superior court judge.
Okay.
Do you understand the 2 hearing dates?
Yes.
Okay. Did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
So what now?
Did you complete a form for court-appointed counsel?
Yes.
Okay, you currently have a job, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the information you provided on the court-appointed counsel form, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, based on your responses, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Come on, Ms. Cooper. First and last name.
Sanaya Cooper.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Cooper. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Ms. Cooper, you've been charged with 3 offenses to include simple battery, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. Your total bond amount is $8,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
If you can make bond, there are certain conditions included in the bond order. The first condition is you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, email, pager, telephone, or third person from the person, home, workplace, and immediate family members of any witness, including but not limited to Daniel Joseph. Do you recognize that individual?
Yes, I do.
Okay, who's that?
That's my uncle.
Okay. You also, because the alleged incident occurred at 2676 Cavalry Drive, Hampton, Georgia, you also not to return to those premises while you're out on bond. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Is that your primary residence?
No, I live at Station Drive.
Okay, so you don't need, you don't need to retrieve any personal belongings from that location, is that correct?
Yes, my house keys and my homework is there.
Okay, is that location?
Yes,
Okay,
and my
Um,
cell phone.
okay. So I will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff office to accompany you to that residence to retrieve any undisputed personal property. You would have to do this within 10 days of your release. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Okay. Also, you completed a request for court-appointed counsel, is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
You stated you have a job, but you don't know how much you earn per month. Can you give me an estimate?
I work at Taco Bell. My checks are probably about $250 every 2 weeks. So I'm not good at math, but it's
So you said 250 every 2 weeks?
yes, ma'am.
So that's about $500 a month.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, based on your response, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Also, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for August 23rd, 2021. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please give me your full name, please.
Andrea Dyer.
Okay. Ms. Dyer, you've been charged with 1 count of contributing to a delinquency of a minor deprivation. Your total bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Since you can make bond, would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
I could keep
You,
it
you
on.
understand what that means?
Not really.
Okay, so if you waive your, if you make bond, then you automatically waive your preliminary hearing. The purpose of preliminary hearing is to determine if there's sufficient evidence to continue to detain you. But if you've already made bond and you're out on bond, there's no reason for that hearing. Do you understand that? So if you know you can make bond, you do have the option of waiving it. If you prefer for me to leave it on the calendar, I can do that as well. It's whatever you're comfortable with.
No. I want the option to waive it.
Okay, this is the option now. So do you want to waive it or do you want me to keep it on the calendar?
Waive it.
Okay.
That's the one where, I don't know. I guess, yeah.
That's the one where they'll determine if there's sufficient evidence to continue to detain you. But if you definitely know you can make bond and you're already out on bond, there's no reason for that hearing.
Okay, I want that choice then.
You-
The one where there's no reason for the hearing.
Okay, you want that choice? So you'll have to complete a waiver form for me when we finish. You understand that? Okay. You also completed a request for court-appointed counsel, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And your responses are accurate on the court-appointed counsel form?
Yes.
Okay. Based on your responses, I am approving your request for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dyer.
So the first and last name. Three names.
Shakira Shannon.
You gotta speak a little louder for them.
Shakira Shannon.
Okay, please spell that for me.
SHAKIRA.
And give me your middle name. Your middle name, please. Okay, spell that for me.
WAYETT.
Okay. I have you here. Ms. Shannon, you've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer. Your total bond amount is $1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you make bond?
Yes.
I'm scheduled your preliminary hearing for August the 24th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. in courtroom 201. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
Can you explain to me what that means, please?
Sure. A preliminary hearing, the purpose of the preliminary hearing is to determine if there's sufficient evidence to continue to detain you in the county jail. If you've already made bond, then it's automatically waived because there's no reason for the hearing if you're already out. If you're unsure as to whether or not you can make bond, I would recommend you leave it on the calendar. If you know you can definitely make bond, then you have the option of waiving.
I would like to waive.
Okay. So I'll need you to complete a waiver form for me. Okay, and you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are the responses on your court-appointed counsel form correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your responses, you are eligible for court-appointed counsel, so I will approve that request. Do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Shannon. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Speak up for me, please. You said. Spell your name for me, Miss Sneed.
You gotta speak up a little louder than that. Very harsh, she can't hear you. Speak up.
Okay, middle name is Takesha.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Sneed. You've been charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Your total bond amount is $5,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
No, I don't.
Okay, what don't you understand? The bond amount or the charge?
The charge.
Okay. Based on the particulars that's in the warrantless affidavit I've been provided, it stated that you did intentionally contact the victim, Lakeisha Sneed, causing visible injuries to her neck by grabbing Lakeisha by the neck and scratching her. The victim has multiple red scratch marks on her neck. The offender and victim both reside together at 4552-142 Old Dixie Road, Forest Park, Georgia. Do you understand the basis of the charge now? Ms. Sneed, I need a yes or a no.
Yes or no, Ms. Sneed? Yes or no? All right, come on. Come on. Yeah, she has 24 history.
Okay, let me just finish going over the conditions of her bond.
Come here, Sneed. Stand right here, listen to what the judge has to say.
Now, Ms. Sneed, I understand that you may disagree with the facts in what I've just read to you, but I just need to make sure that you understand why you're brought here today, and then your bond amount of $5,000 and whether or not you can make bond or not for the $5,000.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's fine.
About not understanding or misunderstanding about what's been going on. and have been contacting people for help and to help me, and then nobody helped me in the system.
Okay, well, everything that I'm telling you today, you'll get in writing, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now I've set your preliminary hearing for August the 24th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. That'll be your first hearing date. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
She did, Your Honor.
Okay,
That's longer than, it's longer than like 2 months.
okay, based on your responses, I am going to approve your request for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions, Ms. Sneed?
Yes or no, you have any questions?
So any question you have, you can speak to your court-appointed attorney about it, because I'm going to approve your request.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Come on, man.
Ashley Taylor.
Okay, spell your name for me.
SHLEY T every time AYLOR.
Oh, Taylor, Miss Taylor, okay. Miss Taylor, you've been charged with 1 count of DUI, alcohol less safe. Your total bond amount is $5,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
I'm not exactly sure at the moment.
Okay. Since you're unsure, that I'm gonna leave your preliminary hearing date on the calendar that's scheduled for August 24th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that to be your first hearing date?
What was the date again?
August 24th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
That's why I'm understanding.
Okay. And you also completed a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And you put on your form that you were employed. You left blank if how much do you earn per month? Can you give me an
Oh,
estimate?
Approximately maybe 2,800.
Okay. So based on your response, Ms. Taylor, I am approving the request for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Your name, first and last name.
Terrence Bonner.
Okay, so we're finished with all the females. Is that correct, deputies?
Yes, ma'am. The white, Tiffany White, I believe, she's gonna be outside at Grady.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's gonna be where?
At Grady.
Okay, so we need to do a continuance for her, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Bronner, you've been charged with 2 counts of theft by taking. I'm sorry, you've been charged with 2 counts to include theft by taking and battery. Your total bond amount is $8,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
No, ma'am, they said I had, they said I came in on the battery and somebody larceny by the car, about my girl car.
Yeah, theft by taking.
Okay, so I got 2 counts of theft by taking?
No, 1 count. I corrected myself. You got 2 counts to include. 1 is theft by taking, the 2nd count is battery.
Oh, okay.
You understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
I think so.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for August the 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. If you're unsure about whether or not you can make bond, I recommend you leave it on the calendar. Would you like to leave it on the calendar? Your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel, is that correct?
Ma'am,
You completed a request for court-appointed counsel, is that correct?
yes,
Okay, and you put that you're not employed, is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your responses, I am approving your request for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Brandon Burnett.
Good morning, Mr. Burnett. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Can I add something? Please,
So wait till I get to your charges, sir, and then I'll allow you to ask me any questions that you would like, okay?
yes, ma'am.
Spell your correct name, spell your full name for me.
Brandon, Brandon, Cherry, Keary, Burnett, Burnett.
Okay, Mr. Burnett, you've been charged with 7 offenses to include criminal trespass, fleeing from an officer, reckless driving, none or class violation for traffic violation, another count of reckless conduct, giving a false name, address, date of birth, and obstructing an officer. Based on your probation history, I'm not authorized to set bond for you today. Do you understand the charges as well as your no bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me finish. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for August the 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. And then your bond hearing will be scheduled for August 27th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand those 2 hearing dates?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let me look at your request for court-appointed counsel, and then I'll address any questions that you have.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your responses, I am approving your request for court-appointed counsel. Now I'll take any questions that you have.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I would like to add that I just came from dual state prison serving a 3-year sentence.
Mhm.
These charges I guess 2017 or 18, but I just came from prison. I did 3 years. I haven't even seen my kids or touched them. I was thinking I was gonna get out, but I had to come here for those charges. I was asking, can you take that in consideration by me being in prison 3 years? I've obtained several certificates for residential abuse treatment, and I didn't just go to prison and just sit. I went down and really achieved something. So what I was saying, well, can you please take me during those 3 years in prison in consideration? I know my wrong. I know I was wrong for what I did. But I didn't serve 3 years. Like I haven't even. My birthday was July the 8th. My release date from prison was the 7th. I haven't even seen the outside. I know what I did was wrong, and I understand my wrongdoings. Excuse me, but I just came from prison. I just did 3 years.
Okay, well, sir, I reviewed your history, so I do understand the circumstances here. However, by law, I'm just not authorized to grant set bail for you today. As I indicated in my opening remarks, your probation officer will have to be given the opportunity to appear to see if they're going to contest your release. So we have to go through the process. We have to follow the process by law, sir. And so, and let me finish. So as a result of that, I'm not legal. I have no legal authority to grant bond for you today. Do you understand that? I don't have the legal authority to do that, what you're asking me to do. You understand that? But you're you're more than welcome to at your preliminary hearing date, which I told you was scheduled for August the 23rd, 2021. You're more than welcome to share that with your attorney, as well as your bond hearing that's going to be on August the 27th. You understand that?
I haven't even been on probation now. Like I've been gone 3 years. Like that don't mean nothing.
No, sir, it's not that it doesn't mean anything, but I'm not authorized by law to set bail. Now, at your bond hearing, that's information that you can share. You can ask your attorney to share with the judge, and the judge, you can ask the judge to consider it at that time. Okay? So if you don't have any other questions, did you complete we've already went over your court-appointed counsel, okay? I'm just not authorized by law to do what you're asking me to do. So again, it's a no bond, and then you'll get an opportunity to give the judge any information you feel is relevant at your bond hearing scheduled for the 27th of August, okay?
Now, what about the probation thing? I don't need.
She can't do anything with us. Step away from me. Step away from me. She can't do anything to me.
I'm still telling.
Okay, I'll give you an opportunity to ask one last question, sir.
No, sir, I don't even remember probation. I've been gone 3 years. I don't know.
Okay, sir. Okay, well, I've looked at, so if you want to get into the specifics, you were sentenced date of July 14, 2024, and that was an 8-year probation. So that was for purchase, possession, and sale of marijuana. So that wouldn't have expired until July 14 of 2022 of next year. So that's the probation that I've looked at in your criminal history.
Which is
Okay.
Douglas County.
I'm not certain what county. I just gave you the sentence date. I'm sure you're familiar with it and you know what I'm talking about. So you have a nice day, sir. Okay. Okay, please state your full name for the record.
Really? Denard?
Mr. Denard, you've been charged with 2 counts. The first count is battery, family violence. The second count is theft by receiving stolen property. Your total bond amount is $12,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and can you make bond?
Yeah, probably can. But can you keep me on the court just in case I can't?
Sure. So I've scheduled your first hearing date for August the 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. You understand it to be your first preliminary hearing date?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Also, I'm required to inform you that if you do make bail, there are certain conditions that are included in the order for bond.
Okay.
The first condition is you have to stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, email, pager, telephone, or third person from the person, home, workplace, and immediate family members of any witnesses with respect to Rayvon LeBlair. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay, who's that?
Oh, her ex-girlfriend.
Okay, so you understand you have to have no contact with her while you're out on bond? Sir, do you understand the no contact on this individual while you're out on bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, also you're because the alleged incident occurred at 11419 South Grove Drive, Hampton, Georgia 30. Let me finish, sir. Hampton, Georgia 30228. You're not to return to those premises. Okay,
Yes,
is that your primary residence?
I confirm. No, ma'am.
Okay, so do you have any personal property there, undisputed personal property you need to retrieve there?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I do.
What do you have there?
Clothes, paperwork, and other accessories.
Okay, so I'm also going to include in the bond order that you be allowed to schedule an appointment with the sheriff's office to accompany you to that residence to retrieve, and listen to what I'm saying, undisputed personal property. You would have to do this within 10 days of your release. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Okay. Now, you did not respond when it asked, do you have a job? So do you have a job?
Oh, ma'am, I do not.
Okay.
I can't talk to you like that. I can't talk to you, but I ain't saying you know what. Sit your head down, so tell her.
Hey, based on your responses, sir, I am approving the request for Court-appointed counsel? Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Etheridge, William Etheridge.
Okay. Mr. Etheridge, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property. Based on your review of your history, I'm not authorized to set bond for you today. Do you understand the charge as well as the no bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for August the 24th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. and then your bond hearing will be scheduled for August 27th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand those two hearing dates?
Yes, ma'am.
I've also reviewed your request for court-appointed counsel. Your responses that you provided, is that accurate? Your responses on the form, sir? Did you provide the accurate responses?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your responses, I am approving the request for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, just one question.
Yes, sir.
How long does it take for my to get in contact with my probation officer? That's it.
I'm not certain, but again, if they don't appear, they will be required to appear at your bond hearing on August the 27th.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
State your name.
I'm Davin Haley.
Well, it's officially good afternoon, Mr. Haley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. Mr. Haley, you've been charged with 2 separate counts to include aggravated assault and violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Based on the nature of your offenses, I'm not authorized to set bond for you today. Do you understand the charges as well as the no bond?
Yeah, ma'am. May I ask a question?
Sure.
That aggravated assault, is it the one from March?
No, it appears that they, in the particulars in the warrant, it states that you did, on July the 2nd, 2021 at 4233-PA Jonesboro Road, Forest Park, did commit the offense of aggravated assault by strangulation against, the victim, name would be, let's see, Sharika Shannon.
Shakira.
I'm sorry, Shakira Shannon. Do you have any additional questions about the facts of the warrant?
I don't know who my probation officer is. I caught a charge in March for the same thing, and I got a lawyer for that because
Okay.
we were trying to get these charges dropped because it just was a misunderstanding. So the victim, she said some stuff that wasn't true, and said I did some stuff that wasn't true. So we got a lawyer on that, and basically the same thing happened again on the 2nd of July. And since I had been released on that, I've been trying to get in contact with my probation officer, and they told me that it was switched back to the cab. I called the cab, and they said I didn't have my case no longer in the cab. It was in Clayton County, so that what made me go get a lawyer.
Okay. Well, you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. So, do you have a lawyer for the Clayton County charges?
Yes, but my girl, she has all that information. I was just paying for it.
Okay. So I'm gonna, based on your responses, you do qualify for a court-appointed counsel here in Clayton. So I am going to approve that request just in case you need it. And I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for August the 23rd, 2021, and then your bond hearing will be August the 27th, 2021. Do you understand those 2 different hearing dates?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any other questions?
Do I still have a probation officer?
I'm not certain. They will be required to appear at that bond hearing on August the 27th,
Okay.
if they're going to contest your release.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mhm.
Mega Hargrove.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hargrove.
Evening.
You've been charged with one count of obstructing an officer. Based on your history, unfortunately, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. Do you understand the charge as well as the no bond?
No, I do not.
Okay. You don't understand the charge, you don't understand the no bond. Which one?
I understand either, but the no bond I would like to take first because what's going on?
Okay. So based on my review of your criminal history, it appears that you were sentenced on November the 20th, 2020 you got 12 months probation on that charge. So that means that you would still be on probation up until November 20th of 2021. I can just only tell you what your criminal history shows. So based on that, that's a no bond. With respect to your obstruction of officer, in the warrantless affidavit, it specifically says that on July the 9th, 2021, that a lieutenant was conducting a patrol of the guard line of Clayton County Jail. He observed a male subject, later identified as Mr. Hargrove, walking along the fence line of the jail, which is past the clearly marked guard line, carrying a cell phone and a speaker in one hand and a skateboard in the other hand. He got out of his marked patrol car and instructed you to come talk to him. You refused to do so and began to walk away at a brisk pace. He grabbed you by the arm and ordered you to stop. You began to attempt to pull away from him. He grabbed you and assisted you down to the ground and held you there, ordering you to stop and to put your hands behind your back. He attempted to place your hands behind your back. You refused and continued to resist. After a brief struggle, a backup officer finally arrived and was able to place you in custody. You stated that you did not know that you had crossed the guard line and that you did not know who he was. The officer said, let it be known that he was in full uniform with the sheriff's patches from front and back on both arms, and that his patrol vehicle is clearly marked Clayton County Sheriff Office vehicle. He informed you that you were under arrest for obstruction of justice. Those are the particulars in the affidavit that I've been provided. Based on the particulars, there is probable cause to again detain you on these charges. So again, that's the no bond and the obstruction of officer.
All right, so in regards to the no bond, I've already paid my probation off. I paid it a while ago. I have the receipt still in my room. I dealt with you through Timothy Turner. He was my probation officer. So that's already handled. That's been handled as soon as I got probation the day after I paid it. Luckily I paid it off.
Okay, well, sir, I can only go on the information I've been provided. If you want to request a reconsideration of the bond, the no bond, you will be getting an opportunity to do that at your bond hearing that's scheduled for August 27, 2021. Okay, all right. And then your preliminary hearing date is August 24, 2021. Okay.
Okay, so two things. One in regards to the obstruction, and the first is so to this. I am scheduled to be in college on the 9th. I won't be able to make it to there. Like I said, I'm not on probation. I'm supposed to be in school. For me to miss school for almost a month, that's going to destroy my whole year. And it hasn't even started yet. Like I said, all I was doing in regards to obstruction was walking to the bus stop the same way that Google Maps takes me. Like I said, I walked through the grass because there's a gate that leads right to the buses, and the officer came behind me. I watched him ride around in front of me. He didn't turn his lights on. He didn't open the window, nothing. He jumped out of his car and tackled me to the floor. I said, hey, who are you? What are you doing? What's going on? He said, stop. I said, hey, what's going on? He said, just wait, just wait. So when the other officer came up to me, that's when they put me in handcuffs and put me in the back of the car. I still didn't know. That's why I kept asking, who are you? What's going on? This isn't fair. I'm going to college. I finally made it. And now walking to the bus, I go pick up money to pay rent. I am tackled by officer and put in handcuffs. And now my probation, I am cleared.
Okay, sir. Well, again, remember when I made my opening comments, I said we're not here to determine your innocence or guilt today. The purpose of today's hearing is to to inform you of the charges and your and whether or not I'm going to set bail. Now, I have reviewed your request for court-appointed counsel, and based on your responses, I will approve your request for court-appointed counsel. You are more than welcome to share this information with your court-appointed attorney and see if they will file a motion for reconsideration of the bond for you. Okay, you can do that prior to your attorney can do that prior to your hearing date, your bond hearing that's been scheduled for August the 27th. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
as soon as your court-appointed counsel gets in contact with you, you can relay that information to them and request that they file a motion for the reconsideration based on, I guess, additional information you may provide, indicating that you're not on probation. Okay, allegedly. Okay.
All right. I heard you speak something earlier. You said about a speedy trial with the jury. Well, how do I go about that?
It's part of the process, sir. So you'll get your first preliminary hearing, okay, on August 24th, 2021. And so at that hearing, it will be determined whether or not there's sufficient evidence to continue to detain you.
Is there any, please just understanding my circumstances. 24 hours ago, I was just a free man on the way to college to make a better life for my family. Now, a few hours later, I'm tackled and put in the back of a car and arrested for obstruction. I can't get out. I'm gonna miss.
Well, sir, again, legally, the only thing I can do today is inform you of the charges and tell you whether or not I'm authorized to set bail. Okay, so I believe I've answered all your questions as much as I can today. And I've approved your request for court-appointed counsel. So that will conclude your first appearance today. Okay.
Frederick Howard.
I'm sorry, spell your last name for me.
Howard, Howard.
Okay, and you said, is it Frederick?
You're like Frederick Douglass, Frederick.
Okay. Mr. Howard, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is no tail lights, and then violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Your total bond amount is $5,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
You say the bond amount is what?
$5,500.
$5,500. Okay.
Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Today or?
Well, between now and your preliminary hearing date. Your preliminary hearing date I've scheduled for August the 23rd, 2021.
Oh, so long as I get bond between now and then, I'll be okay.
Well, no, not you'll be okay, but you'll be released if you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Release. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, if you make bond, then it'll automatically be waived. But if you're unsure if you're going to make bond, I would recommend that you go ahead and leave that preliminary hearing date on the calendar for August 23rd. If you're able to make bond before August 23rd, then it will be automatically waived. You understand that?
Okay. I'm just
Because there's no reason for the hearing if you're already out. The purpose of the hearing is determined if they can continue to detain you in the county jail. But if you're already out, there's no reason for the hearing.
Okay. As long as I get out before the hearing, basically what you're saying.
Well, you can
Find out before the hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I can't bond out now, but yeah, I got you.
Okay. Let me review your request for court-appointed counsel.
So how much you said the bond was? 5,500.
Yeah, it's 500 for the traffic violation of no tail lights, and then 5,000 for the violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act.
Okay.
Okay. Now let me go over your court-appointed counsel form. So you stated here that you do have a job, but you didn't give me an estimate of how much you earn a month. Can you give me an estimate?
A month. DoorDash, Roadie, probably about 21, 22.
Okay. So based on your responses, sir, you would qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any additional questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Eric Luton.
Okay, spell your last name for me, sir.
LOATMAN.
And middle name?
Jamar, JAMAR.
Okay. Mr. Lopeman, you've been charged with 4 offenses. The first offense is red light violation. The second offense is driving under the influence of alcohol. Your third offense is traveling on a divided highway restricted violation. And the fourth charge is obstruction of an officer. Your total bond amount is $8,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, I understand that.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am. He says 8,000, how much?
8,500.
Okay.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for August the 24th, 2021. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or you like me to keep it on the calendar?
Yes, you keep it on the calendar.
Okay. And you completed a request for court-appointed counsel, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you're currently unemployed, is that correct?
Correct.
Based on your responses, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
Only question, if I pay the bond, do I still have to do the preliminary hearing?
No, it's automatically waived if you make bond.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Oh, man.
Okay, thank you.
Joseph Medice,
Spell your last name for me.
MADISE.
Mr. Medice? You've been charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct. Your total bond amount is $1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Not today, maybe about Monday.
Okay. So I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for August the 24th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that is your first hearing date? Okay. And did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
No, ma'am.
You said no? Yes?
No, ma'am.
Well, I have one with your name on it. Do you recall completing one?
Yeah, I do. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. So your responses that you provided on the form, are they true and accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on your,
Not the address. I don't know about the address because I'm really just new to Georgia.
okay,
I'm coming from Virginia, so I ain't been out there maybe 2 weeks.
no problem. Well, based on your responses, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am. Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You too. Have a good day.
You too.
Marquez Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mitchell.
Afternoon.
You've been charged with 1 count of driving under the influence. Your total bond amount is $5,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for August the 24th, 2021. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
Waive it. I would like to waive it.
Okay, so you'll have to complete a waiver form for me. You understand that? The deputies will give you a form to waive your preliminary hearing. Okay?
Yes.
Also, based on your, you recall completing a court-appointed counsel form?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And your responses that you provided on the form, they're accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on your responses, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am, that was all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, please give me your full name.
Wesley Pride.
Mr. Pride, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Your total bond amount is $7,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sorry, that's your.
Your preliminary hearing is scheduled for August the 23rd, 2021. You understand as your first hearing date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I do see here that you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your responses,
I don't.
yeah, you're not qualified for court-appointed counsel. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have any questions?
Oh, no.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, please state your full name for me.
Taylor Jerome Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Based on your history, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. Do you understand the charge as well as the no bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for August the 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. and then your bond hearing is scheduled for August 27, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand those 2 different hearing dates?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I see you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. You indicated you have a job, but it doesn't, I guess I'm unclear about your response about how much, can you give me an estimate of how much you earn per month?
I get paid $350 every Friday.
150?
$350 every Friday.
350? So that's a little bit over 1,400. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, based on your responses, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Just fine. How about yourself?
Good. Please state your full name for me.
Antonio Donnell Ross.
Okay, Mr. Ross, you've been charged with 4 offenses. The first offense is battery. The second offense is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The third offense is theft by taking. And the 4th offense is criminal trespass. Your total bond amount is $14,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
If you can make bonds, sir, there are conditions that are included in the bond order. The first condition is you are to have no contact with, is it Shaniqua Ross?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, email, pager, telephone, or third person from the persons from her home, workplace, and from her immediate family members or any witnesses. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, because the alleged incident occurred at 19 Windsor Way, Riverdale, Georgia, 30274, you're not to return to those premises while you're out on bond. Do you understand that?
That's my primary residence. I'm just trying to figure out how do I understand, but I enlighten me on how do I.
Yeah, so I will include in the order that you are, I'm going to allow you to schedule an appointment with the sheriff's office to accompany you back to that location for you to retrieve any undisputed personal property. You will have to make this appointment within 10 days of your release. You understand that? I've also scheduled a preliminary hearing for August the 23rd, 2021. You understand that? You understand that to be your first hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, with respect to, you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel, and you indicated you're currently unemployed, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I don't need it.
Okay, well, because you, based on your response, because you qualify, I'm gonna go ahead and prove it, and if you don't need it, then fine. If you do need it, then that court-appointed attorney will be available to assist you, okay?
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good one.
You too. Okay,
Hello.
please state your full name, sir.
Rodrigo D'Angelo Shoemaker Jr.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shoemake.
Hello, Your Honor.
You've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is battery, family violence. The second offense is criminal damage in the 1st degree. The third offense is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Your total bond amount is $12,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you make bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included in the bond order. The first condition is that you are to have no contact with Alex Harrison.
Alexi. Yes, ma'am.
Alexis, is Alexis?
Alexi.
Alexis, okay.
Alexi. Yes, yes, ma'am.
So you have to no contact with Ms. Harrison. That means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, or third person from the person's home and workplace, as well as away from any of her immediate family members and any witnesses. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I was just.
Let me finish. Also, you're not to return to the premises located at 6030 Riverdale Road, apartment 3108, Atlanta, Georgia, because that's where the alleged incident occurred. Is that your primary residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you still have personal property there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will include in the order that you will be allowed to schedule an appointment with the sheriff's office to accompany you to that location to retrieve any undisputed personal property. You'll have to make this appointment within 10 days of your release. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay, your first preliminary hearing date has been scheduled for August the 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Also, I see you completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your responses you provided to me, are they true and accurate?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, based on your response, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Now I'll take any questions that you have.
You answered my question, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, please state your full name for me.
David Demetrius Smith.
Okay, Mr. Smith, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by taking. Your total bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for August the 24th, 2021. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar? If you're unsure, then you can just leave it on the calendar.
Waiver.
You want to waive? Okay, so you'll have to complete a form for a waiver, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Those responses that you provided, are they true and accurate? The form that you completed for court-appointed counsel, the responses you provided on that form, are they true and accurate?
Yes.
Okay, so based on your responses, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Hello, Your Honor. My name is James Stover.
Hey, Mr. Stover, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Mr. Stover, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. Your total bond amount is $4,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
I really don't understand the charge. I was going to school, man tapped me on my shoulder. I tapped him back on the shoulder like good luck at school. And then this woman as a witness just flipped out and said, you hit a white man. And then she said, you need to go to jail. And I was ready to go to school. I don't really understand what's going on. But can you please finish what you were doing so I can respond?
Sure. So I just want to make sure you understand what's included in the particulars of the affidavit that's been provided to me by the officer. So he alleges that you hit the victim, Virgil Stallhill, in the face and chest. A witness saw you hit the victim as well. This occurred in Clayton County. You did make unwanted intentional physical contact with the victim. So again, we're not here today to determine your guilt or innocence. My job is just to inform you of the charge, the basis of the charge, and your bond amount. So again, do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
No.
Okay, what don't you understand about? Do you understand the bond amount?
What is the bond amount?
It's $4,000.
Okay.
Okay, and you say you still don't understand the charge?
Simple battery, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you understand the charge?
Right.
Okay. So based on the affidavit, I am going to approve your bail today, and there will be special conditions included. The first condition is that you're to have no contact with Mr. Stallhill. Okay, that means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, email, pager, telephone, or third person from the person, home, workplace, and their immediate family members or any witnesses. You understand that?
Yes.
There's no contact. Also, you're not to return to the premises located at 5930 Highway 85, Clayton County, Georgia, because that's where the alleged incident occurred. Do you recognize that address?
I believe that's my address, not his address. We stay in two different places.
Okay, what is your address?
You said that address that you.
No, you tell me what your address is. Tell me what your address is.
It's 5430. You just said it.
No, that's not what I said. You should know where you live. So what is your address?
5430 Unit 310 Riverdale.
No, what's stated in the location is 5930 Highway 85.
All right, that's probably, I just got there. I've been for about 2 weeks. We don't stay in the same place though.
Okay, well, it doesn't appear this is the same place because there's no apartment number. Where did this incident occur?
At that, I believe at the address, but I'm not sure how the.
I'm saying, were you at your apartment? Were you inside your apartment, outside the apartment? Where were you located, sir?
I was outside.
You was outside of your apartment building?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the name of the apartment?
Holloway.
Okay. And so where were you located? What's your apartment number?
Number 301.
Okay, yeah, that's separate from this. Okay. You understand that? So it just says the address. So, and you don't reside with the alleged victim at that location. Is that correct?
No, I do not. That is correct.
Okay. Does he have do you know if he has an apartment there?
He probably has a place to stay in a different area.
Okay. You understand though that by this order you're to have no contact with that individual, even if he lives on those premises. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So if he doesn't live with you, you can return to your apartment, but you must stay away from him with no contact with this individual.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
Now,
did you indicate that you can make bail or not, sir?
My mom is my legal guardian, but I've been in jail before, and she's told me I've been raped before in jail, and she still wouldn't bail me out. So I'm not sure if she's gonna bail me out this time either.
Okay.
She's over my check, and she hasn't given me money in 17 years. I don't know why y'all let her do this to me. Ever since I got my check, she been raping me out my check.
Okay, sir, well, that's a different matter. Yeah, what I'm here today is to just inform you of the charge that you allegedly committed in Clayton County and to set bail for you. Okay, now I do see that you completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Now, based on your responses, you indicated that you earn about $3,700 a month.
That's my mom.
So how much do you earn?
My check is like $940, but I don't get any of it. She's been taking my check away from me since 2006. I haven't got a dime. I don't know what's about to happen.
So you think you earn about $940 a month?
I know what I earn, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I'm just clarifying. You estimated to be $940 a month.
$941.
$941 a month?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't received any back pay, anything. I don't know what's going on with my money. I have no idea.
Okay, well, sir, that's information that you can provide to your court-appointed counsel. I am approving your request for court-appointed attorney. So that's information that you can share with them and see if they can assist you with. Okay? Do you have any other questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please state your full name for the record.
Jack Walker.
Spell your first name for me.
Say it again.
Please spell your first name for me.
JAQUAVIOUS.
Hey, Mr. Walker, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is impeding traffic. Your second offense is driving while on a suspended or revoked license. Your total bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the bond amount as well as the charges?
No.
Can you make bond?
No.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for August the 24th, 2021. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or leave it on the calendar?
You can leave it on now.
Okay.
I can't change my mind to waive it later though.
Yeah, if you automatically bond out, then it's automatically waived. So if you bond out, it's automatically waived because there's no reason for the hearing since you're no longer detained. You understand that? Okay. And then I see you were completing a request for court-appointed counsel.
Yes.
Okay, and the response you provided on that form is true and accurate?
No.
Okay, based on your responses, I am approving your request for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Malcolm Walker. Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
All right, how about yourself?
I'm well. And give me your last name again.
Walker.
Okay. And first name Malcolm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is battery. The second offense is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Your total bond amount is $8,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
About cruelty to children, with no child around.
Okay, I can only read to you the particulars in the warrant that I received and in the affidavit I received. It states here that said offender pushed the victim, Antoinette Mitchell, by her waist out of the hotel room towards the balcony in the presence of Miss Mitchell's friend. Video footage from the hotel confirmed that defendant pushed and pulled victim out towards the balcony with a child in a child seat in her hand.
No.
Let me finish. Offender committed a family violent act in the presence of his baby. Walker is the last name, 1-year-old.
No, it wasn't no bad. It was no child seat, nothing.
Okay, so remember what I said when I made my opening comments that you have the right to remain silent.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything that you say can be used against you in other proceedings. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And secondly, we're not here to determine your guilt or innocence today. The only purpose of your first appearance is to inform you of the charges and to set a bond for you.
Yes, ma'am. Can you ask me, can I ask you what each bond is?
Yeah,
So
sure.
the simple battery is how much?
The battery charge is 5,000 and the cruelty to children charge is 3,000. So the total of 8,000.
Okay.
Okay. So again, do you understand the charges as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
You do?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
If you get made bond, there will be special conditions included in the bond order. The first condition is there's going to be a no contact against Antoinette Mitchell. Okay. So that means you got to stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, email, telephone, or third person from her home, work, or workplace, away from any immediate family member as well as any witnesses. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, because the alleged incident occurred at 8241 Terra Boulevard, number 200, Clayton County, Georgia, you're not to return to those premises. Is that your primary location? I'm sorry, primary residence? Mr. Walker, is that your primary resident, the location?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any undisputed personal, I'm not, sir, do you listen to what I'm saying? Do you have any undisputed personal property still at that location?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, if you do, then I will allow you, I'm going to include in the order that you can make an appointment with the sheriff's office to accompany you to that residence or to that location to retrieve any undisputed personal property. You would have to make this appointment within 10 days of your release. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for August the 24th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the calendar?
On the calendar, ma'am.
Okay. Also, you completed a request for court-appointed counsel, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you indicated that you do have a job
Yes, ma'am.
and you earn approximately $3,200 a month?
No, I only earn about 13 a month. I wrote it wrong.
So you said 1,300 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your responses, sir, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, please state your full name for me.
Michael Andrew Wilson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. How are you doing? And give me your middle name. Sir, what's your middle name?
Andrew.
Okay. Mr. Wilson, you've been charged with one count of theft by taking. Your total bond amount is $10,000. Do you understand the bond amount as well as the charge?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for August 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that to be your first hearing date?
Yes. I want to waive my preliminary.
Unfortunately, because of the nature of the charge, I cannot allow you to waive the preliminary hearing for a felony. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, let's see here. You completed the request for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are your responses accurate that you provided on the form, sir?
Yes.
So based on your responses, you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you have any questions?
How much would my bond be? Would it be reduced? Like, how much would I have to pay out of the 10,000?
I'm not certain, so that's something you would have to talk to the bonding company about, okay? Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
This will be the one of the translator we need to go out.
Okay, give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go off the record to get the interpreter on the phone, and then as soon as I have the interpreter on the phone, I will go back on the record.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, deputies, we're back on the record. I do have the interpreter on the line. If you will have the defendant step to the camera and state his full name for me.
State your name. Say your name.
La grabación o el acta de registro. Dado el intérprete de español, se le habla al imputado o demandado. Favor de mencionar su nombre completo para la grabación.
You asked him if he understood, sir?
I need not speak English, I speak
¿Y
Spanish.
entendió lo que se le dijo?
¿Cómo dice?
I'm sorry, sir. He's having trouble hearing you. Yes. Yeah, if you could.
Seems confused. Can I have your permission to ask him again for his name?
Yes, and if you could speak louder too as well. Unfortunately, I have you on speakerphone and we're on the video.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Señor, ¿puede decir su nombre, por favor, para la grabación?
Kelvin Alexis Baires Llanes.
This is the interpreter. The defendant can hear the interpreter, but I am.
Casi no lo entiende.
Your Honor.
Okay, let me see if I can turn up the volume. Can you ask him to speak louder?
Señor Kelvin,
Diga.
¿puede hablar más fuerte?
Le digo que me llamo Kelvin Alexis Baires Llanes.
My name was Kelvin Alexis Baires Llanes.
Please inform him he's been charged with 3 counts to include bad.
Se le han imputado 3 cargos en su contra.
Pero no entiendo de qué cargos, porque a mí de por gusto me fueron a traer a la casa, pero pues si ya ellos pues hacen lo que se les pega a su puta gana, pues ya es su pedo.
I don't understand which charges. I mean, they went home to tell me about it. But if you're going to do whatever the fuck you want to do, well, that's your fucking problem.
Okay, please, please inform him to please be respectful of these proceedings, and we will not allow the use of profanity.
Señor Kelvin, guarde respeto a este procedimiento.
Señor, el que me dé respeto soy yo.
Un lenguaje no adecuado.
Okay, the 3 charges, the first offense is battery.
De los 3 cargos que tiene su contra, el primero es por agresión física.
The second offense is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. No problem. The second charge is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree.
Children in the 3rd degree, but what is the offense really? I'm sorry.
No problem. It's cruelty to children. Cruelty to children.
Can you spell the word for me, Your Honor?
Yes, C-R-U-E-L-T-Y.
I need to let you know you must know that you're breaking out. Thank you for your patience. El segundo cargo imputado en contra suya es por crueldad en contra de menores de edad en 3er grado.
And the 3rd
Pues,
offense
yo le voy a decir que me declaro inocente. Mire cómo ando, porque ellos mismos, lo mismo que me trajeron aquí, me quebraron 3 partes de por gusto. Pero como le digo, si no me respetan, ¿para qué voy a respetar? ¿Para qué sirve mi palabra? Si nunca me han preguntado nada, solo lo que ellos dicen. Así que pues si creen Dios, pues que juzgue. Pero me declaro inocente y más bien me deberían hasta pagar por todas estas maldiciones, malas cosas que me están haciendo, que no parece que fueran ley, la verdad. Parece que más bien un defraude total. Estoy debiéndome.
Sure.
Thank you. Señor Kelvin, repita lo que dijo más fuerte y despacio porque su voz se está cortando. Por favor.
Le digo que aquí los injustos han sido siempre ellos. 2 veces me han agarrado ahorita, miren, me quebraron todito. Y yo siempre trato a las personas, del más pequeño al más grande, con mucho respeto. El que no me respeta, pues tampoco lo respeto, ya puede ser Dios o quien sea.
pero
Un momento.
hace lo que quieran.
This is so like them.
Pues yo le voy a decir una cosa.
Like this all the
Yo
time.
solo digo que me dejen ir para la casa. No puedo discutir nada.
Un momento, por favor. I like showing respect for those people who show respect back to me. They show me no respect. Why should I respect them back?
Okay. Let him know the third charge is making terroristic threats.
El cargo en su contra es por haber realizado amenazas.
Pues le digo, soy inocente, pero pues yo no puedo hacer nada y pues no hay mucho que hablar, pues ahí solo quiero mi libertad. Siempre respetado pero si ustedes creen otra cosa, pues, su pedo, ahí pues hagan lo que quieran. Aquí espero yo.
Well, there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, there's not much to say. I've always shown respect, but if you want to believe something different, well, that's your freaking problem.
Okay, please inform him that his total bond amount is $18,000 and ask him if he can make bond or not.
La cantidad total para su fianza es por la suma de $18,000. ¿Puede usted hacer el pago de la fianza o no?
No, señor, yo no voy, más bien a mí me tienen que pagar, como le digo, por gusto me han agredido y todavía voy a pagar. Yo no pago nada. Ya, pues.
I'm not going to pay. Out of pleasure, I'm not going to pay.
Okay.
Bueno.
Please inform him that his first hearing date has been scheduled for August 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m.
Le informa que su primera fecha para audiencia ha quedado programada para el día 23 de agosto del 2021 a las 8:30 AM.
Pero, ¿qué es eso usted? No, yo usted sabe, no soy muy estudioso, no hay palabras que no comprendo muy bien.
But what is that? You know, I'm not a very educated person. I don't understand.
¿La audiencia qué es? ¿Es una corte o qué?
Is that a court date or what is it?
Yes, it's his first court date.
Pero ahora me van a dejar libre, ¿no?
Fecha de corte.
Ahora me puedo ir para la casa también, ¿no?
Can I go home now?
No. Unless he can bond out, he will continue to be detained in jail.
No. A menos que usted pague su fianza, usted continuará detenido en la cárcel.
¿Cómo voy a pagar si le digo que solo salgo de una para echarme otra y para que no fueran leyes, la verdad? Yo quisiera mucho, pues mi dinero hecho, no le digo cómo ando. Pero también, pues si me dejan aquí, pues, ¿a qué entonces voy a pagar? Desde irme, ando quebrado de 3 partes del brazo. A nadie le he hecho nada, siempre he respetado. Y a veces aquí miro que son policías o qué, no sé a qué le están jugando.
Kelvin,
Diga, señor.
un momentito.
Yo lo que sí digo es que me quiero ir ahora. No sé.
Does the interpreter have your permission to have Mr. Kelvin slow down a little bit?
Sure. Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Thank you, ma'am. Señor Kelvin, un favor que le pide el intérprete. Por favor, hable despacio y con mensajes cortos para pasar su mensaje idéntico y no cambiarlo, caballero. Dice
Le digo yo que
confianza.
yo quiero irme ahora para la casa. Llevo varios días aquí. He estado solo al hospital, me trajeron para acá y solo porque una mujer pues dijo esto y lo demás. Yo no hice nada solo por eso, por ellos mismos también me quebraron todo esto anterior por lo mismo, por palabras. Pero sí, creo yo que las palabras de mí que yo digo, eso no vale, solo valen las que vienen contra mí.
Por favor, gracias. Well, I have been here incarcerated for a few days already. I was at the hospital and then they brought me over here. And only because a lady said a few things about me, it's just that, words. But I don't think that's a valid thing of doing things.
Okay. Okay, please let him know that he can present that information to the judge at his first court date.
El día de su fecha de corte, usted puede comentar todo esto ante la presencia del juez, señor Kelvin.
Pues sí, pues lo que quiero es decirme, pues que ahora me dejen en libertad y pues y después la corte, si no, pues lo único que quiero, estoy cansado ya y la verdad que es, ¿para qué voy a decir yo que me acusan? Pues, simplemente que usted sabe y yo creo que pueden ver que no soy una persona de que va a hacer una cosa solo por hacerla. Hay veces que
Un momento, por favor.
lo orillan a...
The interpreter, I do apologize, Your Honor. I would hate to lie to you in your court. I don't have a segment to translate because he's really cutting in and out so bad.
Okay.
I was not able to get a full sentence.
No problem. With respect, can you ask him if he's currently employed and how much does he earn per month?
¿Podría decirme si usted tiene un empleo ahorita y cuánto está ganando usted mensualmente?
Sí, yo trabajo en flor, en cerámica, en daily relief, pero como les digo que ese día la señora pues se enojó y dijo que dos policías me enchacharon y me dejaron en una gas. Cuando venía de regreso me chocó un tráiler, estoy quebrado, me fui al hospital, entonces ya estuve allá 6 días aquí en el hospital Candy, y solo tuve 2 veces en la casa y ya me traen para acá, porque pues la ley, pues de modo que me peleé con ellos, pues ellos dicen, me traen, porque le manorean a la mujer, no sé, la mujer es de uno, la familia es de uno, las reglas uno, no tiene que meterse la ley, pues, al menos, no por mi familia donde está la vida.
I am employed. I am working as a ceramics or pottery worker for that company. But the lady that day, she was a little bit upset at the end. She said those things. So on our way back, we collided with an 18-wheeler. So I go to the hospital. I went back home for a couple of days. And then the law enforcement agents went and picked me up and brought me over here. I was not able to fight them, and so here I am. This is what the interpreter could hear, Your Honor. Yeah, this message.
I understand. Can you ask him, can he give me an estimate of his wages per month?
Aproximadamente, ¿cuánto gana usted al mes?
Yo pues normalmente gano 1,200 a la semana.
I normally make 1,200 a week.
Al mes sería como 4,800 al mes. Pero como le digo, ahorita estoy quebrado, así no puedo trabajar, tengo que curarme, pegarme, estoy quebrado 3 partes, de aquí y de aquí.
How much, sir?
¿Cuánto dijo que gana al mes?
Pues al mes serían como, póngale que 4,000, pero aparte que en gas, pues lo que gana uno es menos, va, pero pues lo que le salgan como unos 4,800, pero sí, más los gastos que hay que hacer para...
¿Dijo usted que se fracturó el pie en 3 partes?
3 partes, estoy quebrado. De aquí, de aquí, de aquí.
I am making 4,800 in the neighborhood of a month, sometimes $4,000. But I broke my foot in 3 parts.
Okay, please let him know that based on his current income, he does not qualify for a court-appointed attorney.
Basándonos en los ingresos que usted tiene, usted no califica para recibir los servicios de un abogado asignado por el tribunal.
Pues tendría, me gustaría que me dieran unos pocos para ver qué es lo que debo de hacer, porque así en palabras se me olvidan, pero lo que más quiero también es ir para la casa y que me den una hoja explicado qué es lo que debo hacer, las cosas, para que todo esté bien, porque la verdad que ni entiendo yo por qué. A veces, pues yo como no hablo inglés, usted sabe, aquí ese es el problema que...
Because I forget spoken instructions. So if someone can please explain to me what I'm supposed to do.
Yes, let him know that he can hire his own attorney to explain the charges as well as the law to him.
You can verify, Your Honor, the charges and the bond, did you say?
The charges and the law, L-A-W.
Usted va a contratar, va a pagar su propio abogado. Su
No le
abogado
escucho.
ayude a explicarle cuáles son los cargos que tiene en su contra, además de las leyes también.
Exacto. Ajá, sí, pues me gustaría por nuevo, pues le digo, pues sería la única forma para llegar al final del asunto, porque ni yo entiendo a veces por qué lo hagan, a veces por molestar o no sé, digo yo, pues me gustaría pues ir a la corte y tener un abogado y todo, porque yo llevo buen rato, me han mandado 2 veces al hospital, eso ha ido con estas 2 veces y no entiendo qué he hecho, solo llegan como que fueran dioses, no sé, pero es la mujer que siempre...
I still don't understand what this is all about. I just see a bunch of people like suddenly talking about multiple things and
Please let him know that I have informed him of his rights, and this will conclude the hearing for today.
You can set this up one.
Please let him know that I have informed him of his rights, and we will be, you hear the second part, this concludes his hearing for today.
Yo ya cumplí informándole a usted cuáles son sus derechos y es de esta forma en la que concluimos esta audiencia.
Okay. So we're finished, Deputy? Yes. So Deputy, we're finished with this inmate?
Okay, step aside for me.
Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask you, I guess once we turn, let's turn off live.
Yes, sir. One second, sir. Yes, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you for these services and for your patience. Have a nice day.
I'm sorry, sir. Your question?
Yes, quick question. Tomorrow we're doing some training. Is it possible that we can start sooner than 11? It's up to you though.
No, unfortunately, my calendar is 11. I will start it promptly at 11.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you.
Okay, and then the waiver forms, or you will get those sent over to me within the hour so I can scan everything, sign everything, and send it back in and send it over.
The action was already sent up to you, so you should already have them, or they should be on their way to you.
Okay, thank you,
you.
sir. Bye-bye.